Underworlds fans, and welcome to another battle report from this week, well, last week when I'm uploading this casual game night. I labeled it the Prophecy of the Court because I was trying to fine-tune and play a bit more with my Crimson Court coupled with Paths of Prophecy. And with 6 players present, we had a nice selection of warbands on the table, some with rivals and some with nemesis decks, and for some reason I ended up facing 2 rivals decks. The first game was against Nico, who brought Moloch's Mob, the new edition, to the table. My plan was to play on the objectives, hitting 1 or 2 of the smaller critters left and right, but generally avoiding the big guy and weather any punches he threw. Because as long as he wasn't inspired, he wouldn't one-shot me. I deployed deep, and with deploy immediately doubling my hunger counter on my models, that meant I would have a bunch of bloodthirsty vampires going into round 2. Godaf was targeted by the enemy, but he quickly chose to withdraw as Prince Deval and Anais moved in, taking down the Bat Squeak, inspiring my leader. With Vela securing an objective, the first round ended in a 3-2 lead for the court. In the second turn, Prince Deval went after the Spite Shroom, but it defended itself successfully. Anais, in the meantime, was beset by the huge brute, but he survived to occupy objective number 2, and the court scored some more, taking an 8-3 lead now. So this was going rather well at the moment. Velas then brought down the Shroom, but well, it spawned a little bit further from this Voltrand babe. But yeah, that's the irritating thing about these little ones. With Moloch not being able to focus his attacks, the vampire started grabbing more and more points by moving around him and generally ignoring him. Just as my plan of attack was meant to be. If we didn't attack him, he wouldn't inspire, because he needs 3 wounds, and he'd be unable to take one of mine down in a single blow, because when inspired he hits for 4 and otherwise for 3, so yeah, I got a few heal tricks, not too many, because Garrett wasn't inspired, but that meant, well, he needed 2 attacks on a vampire to take it down, so I just kept running circles and surrounded. In the end, Moloch had to admit defeat, and he lost 13-4 to the Vampire Courts. Hooray! The second game brought Water and his Tricefold discard to the table, and with both setting up deeply, we knew this wouldn't be an aggressive game, and I just needed to keep him guessing which objectives were my targets. Soon small fights broke out, but the demons dodged and critically saved themselves from harm all the time, the first round ending in a amazing 1-1 in score. During the second round, Anais was cast down, which was a bit of a bummer for my plans, as he was now at move 6, because I managed to play the the extra hunger counter again, so round 2 we were all bloodthirsty, and that would have been great for activating him for last activation dashes to objectives. A sighting Velas threw herself amongst the demons, and while she hit with crits, which due to the vampiric might I played on her would mean 4 damage on a successful attack, the demons somehow kept saving on crits and no damage was dealt. Deval took down Laskevir, but as Anais had already fallen, I couldn't score the Crimson Hunt his turn, sadly. In return, Vashtis cast him down as well, and the wizard He-She becoming a problem for my vampires, as it was now 2 against 2. Mine were wounded, he had just 2 wounds on Vexmore, and a 3-3 score was on the board to go into the final round. In that round, Velas got the sight again, rolling at least 1 crit against each. Again, the 4 damage would have actually killed both of the Slaaneshi. But Water once again critically saved both, and instead no damage was done. So this was a big bummer. It's 4 times I could have killed both the demons. 2 attacks 2 times successfully, and he saved it each and every time. Guard was lured closer, but he survived Vexmore's attack and Vashtis' spells, only to run off at the last moment to sneak onto objective 5, scoring me that one. And alas, a search in the last activation and a good draw from my opponent made that he went to 6 glory points in total, and I had only scored 5 in the end. A very low score in a tactically challenging game, but the court is getting the hang of the deck, and to be honest, this was down to his amazing saving throws, so it would have been a very, very different result indeed. For example, if he had failed even 1 of the 4 critical rolls, the game would have at least been a draw, and I would have probably overrun him, because I would have numerical advantages. Doesn't need to kill my opponents with the Paths of Prophecy, so I could have focused on just grabbing objectives everywhere. But one up, one down. Not too bad for the chord on a casual game night, and yeah, we'll keep on trying them some more and tuning them some more, because this will be my band that I'll be going to the Benelux Clash with in November. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.